tonight on News Center Now. Hundreds of thousands of books, and they all need somewhere to go. How you can help find them a new home.
And there's been a court ruling in the John Williams case. He's the man charged with killing Corporal Eugene Cole. Coming up, what a judge says can and cannot be used from Williams' confessional interview. This is News Center Now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson, and we're going to get right to some breaking news at this hour. The Attorney General's office is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Medford. They have taped off Partridge Lane. They say there's no threat to the public right now. The Piscataquis County Sheriff's Office, Maine State Police, Dover Foxcroft Police, they have responded to the scene. There's an ambulance there as well. Here is the scene in Medford right now. Jackie Mundry's on the scene. We're going to have updates throughout the next 90 minutes.
A judge has decided 90 minutes of a confessional interview with the man accused of killing Corporal Eugene Cole will be used in court.
Yeah, a judge today ruled that portion of Williams' interview at the Waterville Police Department was made voluntarily, and so will stand up in court. Chris Costa is here now to break this down a little bit more for us. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, the court found no evidence that police officers beat or pummeled Williams during his arrest. Just one blow to the head by one officer who thought Williams was not cooperating while being handcuffed. On the way to the Waterville Police Department, detectives asked Williams if he was injured, and he said no. They asked if he wanted to talk to them. He said yes. At the department, he was medically checked out and cleared to be interviewed. But a judge ruled that it is one thing that Williams asked for that is the tipping point, when the judge believes police should have put the investigation on pause. Detectives began recording the interrogation on video. Williams was given water at 8:41 minutes in. He was reminded that he did not have to talk to them, but detectives said they'd like to hear what he had to say. He said yes and asked for food. They said they were working on it. The court said detectives never raised their voices or acted in an aggressive manner, nor did it appear they tricked Williams in any way. He was read his Miranda rights at the 9:26 mark on the video. He said he understood his rights. At 17:43 minutes, Williams brings up Corporal Cole for the first time when detectives asked him what he was running from. At 19:04, he then describes the events of that night, ending by saying, "At which point I brandished the firearm and shot David Cole," mistakenly calling the corporal by the wrong first name. At 22:45 on the tape, food, fruit punch, and clothing are brought in. At 1 hour 18 minutes, one of the detectives asked Williams if he would do a reenactment of the incident with Corporal Cole in the police station parking lot. Williams said he would be willing to do so. They talk a bit more, and then 9 minutes after the first request, detectives ask again about that reenactment. It's at that time that Williams first asked if he could sleep for a while because he was exhausted. Detectives said they understood he was tired, but they really needed him to do the reenactment first. Williams said he'd do whatever they wanted, but that he really needed to take a nap, saying he'd be willing to curl up on the floor of the interrogation room for 30 minutes. It is at that point, however, that detectives convince him to go to the parking lot to reenact the incident with Corporal Cole. The court ruled everything before Williams' request to sleep is admissible, but the reenactment and anything he said during the 90-minute ride to the Maine State Prison is not. One of Williams' lawyers says he's happy the reenactment is out, and as for the first 90 minutes of the interrogation,
the fact that the jury's going to hear and see what he told the police officers, in some respects, I think is helpful to our case because the jury will get to see him on video in the state that he was in, which he was off, in a daze, and you can hear him grunting, you can hear him. He looks like he's trying to sleep, and that will be helpful for the jury to see because our defense is that he, it was the drugs that led to this unfortunate incident.
As for that now infamous photo of Williams' head being held up by his hair just moments after being handcuffed in the woods, the Supreme Court says it saw no need for that photo to be taken since those who captured him knew full well who they had in custody. Williams is scheduled to go to trial for Corporal Eugene Cole's murder on June 10th. Lindsay and Lee.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Very interesting. All right, let's turn our attention to the forecast, shall we?
Yeah, just in time for the weekend. Is it gonna dry up at all, Keith?
Your voice is a lot more optimistic than this forecast
I
is
know.
about to be.
I'm
Time for the
trying.
weekend. There's some rain.
Distraction.
Yeah, it's all right. We got rain pretty much statewide. Parts of the Mid-Coast seeing a break. I just want to point out a couple of these showers and thunderstorms down to the south, right here over New Hampshire. They had some tornado warnings on those into Massachusetts an hour or so ago. So let's watch them as they come into southwestern parts of Maine. Definitely some thunder and lightning and some heavy downpours involved in that as well. All part of a larger storm system that is spinning. A couple of severe warnings across the mid-Atlantic as well. And so we have to get through this rain tonight and at least through the first half of tomorrow before things start to clear up a bit. Current temperatures suppressed into the 40s. Look at Caribou at 50. The only reason for that, of course, is that they saw sunshine early, and it took a while to get any rain into northern Aroostook County, but everyone will flatline into the low 40s overnight. Tonight, rain continues, a couple of downpours, maybe a few sleet pellets into the mountains. That's a possibility. By tomorrow morning, there's still heavy rain. It's a nasty morning, but by the middle of the day, we go from rain to showers to clouds, and eventually maybe a peak or two of sun. Guys, Sunday looks better. The overall pattern, that we'll talk kind of big picture, you're probably not going to love it, but you won't be surprised by it.
No, because we're so used to it.
Right, yeah.
At this
Speed it
point.
into you.
Yeah.
Rain boots are getting a lot of good use this week, a big week for them. Thanks, Keith. The father of a Lewiston student who drowned on a school field trip is suing the city and state. Ryan Isa died last June while on a field trip to Rang Pond State Park in Poland with Lewiston Middle School. Authorities and the suit say the 7th grader was underwater for more than 20 minutes before he was found. The lawyer representing Isa's father, Ali Abdisaman, says that on that field trip there were only 11 adult chaperones for the 111 students, and the state park only provided 1 lifeguard.
Unfortunately, this is an incident that really could have been avoided, and the hope is to avoid further incidences like this that can be avoided.
The suit seeks financial compensation for medical and funeral expenses. An exact amount, though, is not listed. Lewiston Public Schools issued a new field trip policy after that incident. Some of those requirements include a safety talk and a buddy system on field trips. And if it involves swimming, students must be able to demonstrate they can swim. And there will be 1 lifeguard for every 25 swimmers.
You know, we always look forward to spring, but it's not always just flowers and butterflies. There's the pollen to deal with, and of course there are the ticks. The Centers for Disease Control is once again putting out a warning about those creepy little creatures and tips on how to keep them off of us. Avoid areas with high grass and leaf litter. Use EPA registered insect repellents containing DEET. And when you go inside, check your clothing, your body, and your pets for ticks. And there is no need to panic. If you find one, just remove it as soon as you can using fine-tip tweezers and thoroughly clean the bite area. If it really sets in, though, and you do get that bullseye rash, then you got to go see your doctor pronto.
If the idea of drones delivering for Amazon freaks you out, you got to listen to this one. Another type of drone delivery that literally saved a life. Doctors at a hospital in Maryland say the kidney they transplanted into a 44-year-old woman with kidney failure was delivered by a drone. Drones have been tested in the past to deliver medical supplies, but this was the first time one was used to deliver an organ. Organs don't last long outside the body, so this is an important breakthrough, and the operation was a success. The woman was discharged from the hospital earlier this week. Interesting.
Crazy cool, right?
Right?
Really good. All right. Coming up, Maine State Trooper Ben Campbell being remembered through his love for America's pastime.
Plus, tens of thousands of books that need a place to go. Many are going for no cost at all. A look inside Artios Books in Auburn. As Little League baseball season rapidly approaches, one of the game's biggest fans is being remembered.
Yeah, Maine State Police Detective Ben Campbell. He was a standout first baseman in high school and in college. His passion and love for the game now being remembered. Sean Stackhouse joins us now with more on how a true Maine hero is being honored. Sean?
Lee and Lindsay, after the tragic passing of Detective Ben Campbell, many shared stories about his selflessness. But one thing that really fell under the radar was his baseball career. Campbell still holds the record for hits in a single season at Westfield State University with 62. And now folks who learned about his love for the game are honoring him. Dovetail Bats in Shirley will be donating special edition thin blue line bats that honored Detective Ben Campbell. It will be donated to troopers and law enforcement that served side by side with him. And in another central Maine community, another honoring move is underway. I'll have a full report on all of these baseball-related acts of kindness honoring Detective Campbell coming up tonight at 5:30. Lee and Lindsay.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. And hey, if you'd like to catch a Red Sox game and help feed your neighbors at the same time, we can help with that as well.
That sounds good.
The Feed Maine Fenway Game Day Package Auction is now live on eBay. It is compliments of our news partners, NESN, and it will benefit the Good Shepherd Food Bank. The package includes 2 tickets to a Sox game, meet and greet with the NESN broadcasters before the game, a tour of the Green Monster. That's really cool. You can go in behind, and you can learn much more on our website and mobile app, so check it out.
All while helping a good cause.
Yeah.
Coming up, Maddie the intern is taking a break from all the study she's been doing for those final exams and enjoying her final few weeks as a senior.
Yes, indeed. And we'll see if there are any enjoyable days in the weekend. Forecast. I'm bad at math, but I'm going to say that's a no. So whether it's to get lost, relax, learn something new, we turn to reading a book. For those reasons and more, of course.
The owner of a long-standing Auburn bookshop is getting ready to start a new chapter in his life. The only problem, he has tens of thousands of books and nowhere for them all to go.
This is going to be quite a tour.
On the corner of a busy Auburn street,
And this is the bookstore.
you'll find Artios Books,
Vintage books back in the 1800s type stuff.
a place where visitors can travel back in time.
This is every imaginable horses, railroads, cars, aviation, dogs, alcohol, you name it type situation.
Or explore something new.
Then we come into sports.
Walter Lance runs the shop with his girlfriend.
We both had a lot of books and moved in together and opened a bookstore.
That was 16 years ago.
It was just a little tiny thing with 5,000 books. And now there's 150,000 books. And I have taken nothing in for probably 6 months at least. And this is just what's left of it going out the door as fast as I could do it.
His bestsellers, Nora Roberts
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
and Stephen King.
26, 27 Stephen King hardbacks.
But all this was nothing compared to what we saw next.
Now you want to see the books?
Let's see the books.
Okay, let's go see the books.
The bulk of the books are in the basement.
Where in the world can you get down here and you name a book? And I probably have it.
The shelves for all these books donated by Pioneer Plastics, made with leftover flooring for bowling alleys.
If you put a board up, when you move a book, you sand the bottom of the book. But these are smooth.
Despite the pristine condition of the books,
I'm a little bit in a mess right now.
Lance realizes he can't keep them all.
We are, as of the 1st of the month, to be out of here.
The landlord says he notified Lance in October that he would be seeking a new tenant. For months, Lance has been trying to sell what's left.
As time goes on, it's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to do whatever it takes to remove the books is starting to wear, to where I'm almost going to be glad to just say I'm done.
And now, a lot here is free.
I had a jar sitting here with a few $100s in it, I assumed, and someone stole the jar.
He did get a small storage garage.
Which will handle a few.
He cherishes the books he's collected for years.
You can go on the internet and it may give you an answer which may or may not be right, plus it can change. You go to a book, you can't change it.
Now it's time for him to close this chapter.
You got the idea, there's a lot of books.
Books he doesn't want to see go to the dump,
I want it to go to homes.
so others can enjoy reading them as much as he has.
So a lot of books there. We were surprised. He kept showing us the top level of the shop. He said, just wait, there's more, just wait. Then we went down to the basement, and of course he was right. Yeah.
That was a great feel to that room down there, you know, all the books and stuff.
I think that Walter hit on a good point that I've made this before, that the good thing about books is when you had a question, you'd have to go and get an answer. And we talk about confirmation bias on the internet now. I think that's a problem. Like
Yes.
people can find a confirmation for anything they want to be true.
Right.
Back then, you'd actually have to go to a qualified person to get an answer. I think that plays into a lot of things, like from climate change to vaccines.
Right.
Like you wouldn't find a book about those things.
Right.
You can
Very
rewrite the
interesting.
internet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't
Yeah,
rewrite a book.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
anybody can be an author on there.
It makes me think of doing school reports back when we had to use the Encyclopedia Britannica.
yeah.
It's like, good Lord.
Well, we're dating ourselves, aren't we? Let's kids these days and the books, you know.
Uphill both ways.
All right, so rainy day today. Whoa, my hand gets in the shot when I do that, huh? Look at that. The clicker was right here. What was that show? I'm Crushing Her Head. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Mystery Science
Was it?
Fiction
Yeah.
Theater or something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, I have 5 seconds for the weather now. Here's some heavy downpours coming through. Let's take a look at these storms that had some tornado warnings down in Massachusetts and Connecticut earlier. And they're still a little feisty looking as they're about to come into York County. So downpours, rumble of thunder in some of these, and perhaps a little bit of small hail a possibility. The bigger picture showing the storm winding up across the mid-Atlantic. And this thing's going to be with us tonight through at least the first half of tomorrow, and so the beginning of your weekend is just not ideal. We're in the 40s right now. We're going to stay pretty flat overnight tonight in the upper 30s and low 40s with the rain, which is close to one of the worst weather conditions. I always say is 38 and rainy. Well, we're really close to that in the low 40s with rain through the night tonight. Downpours continue, perhaps a few sleet pellets in the high terrain early tomorrow morning. And it's raining through the first half of tomorrow. The best way to put tomorrow's forecast is we go from rain to showers. So it becomes more intermittent in the afternoon, but I don't think we see a ton of sunshine, maybe a few peaks here and there over southwestern parts of the state, and temperatures into the 50s there. And then Sunday starts with a lot of sunshine, nice start to the day, but we even cloud up on Sunday through the afternoon with an isolated sprinkle over coastal Maine late in the day. So the weekend on the whole, I'm not overly excited about weather-wise. The problem here is that we're stuck with the jet stream coming zonally from west to east, and what that does is takes every storm and drives it right over New England. So another one coming through Sunday night with some light rain showers, more showers on Tuesday, Wednesday's a decent day, another system on Thursday, Friday, so we just keep moving these things through. This is another way to look at it. Look where that current of air of the jet stream is. We're just stuck right over New England, so nothing really gives. We don't really warm up, we don't really cool down, we just get stuck kind of in the doldrums there. So, like I said, 2 out of 7, not bad for a baseball player, right? I mean, if you bat 280, that's all right. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but not so much for sun ratios. And today's Brain Drops, we're going to talk a little bit about cloud cover this spring. They do keep some stats on this, and it probably won't shock you where we've gone as of late.
Will it depress us? This
Yes,
is a better question.
yes. You know, we talked about this. May, in my opinion, is my least favorite month because skiing is over, beach isn't here yet.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you do?
You can hike if you're a hardy soul and you get the boots, but it's a fringe season for sure.
Definitely.
All right, fair enough.
Keith, thank you. We have followed intern Maddie throughout her senior year of college, and it's been definitely a stressful ride at times.
Yeah.
From all of her coursework to preparing for that first job interview, she's done a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like seniors don't need to be reminded necessarily of this, but she is reminding people to make sure they have time for fun.
I want to hit the pause button. We've talked about building your resume, we've talked about student loans, but one thing we haven't touched on is having fun.
What is fun?
Yes, college is about getting an education and preparing for adulthood, but it's also a time to make memories. So before we throw our graduation caps in the air in a couple of weeks, why not make the most of our time left?
For the next few weeks, I challenge you to hit pause and check off some items on your senior bucket list. Go enjoy the nice weather, explore a new part of campus, check out local entertainment, take a weekend afternoon to adventure, or just simply relax.
Are we having fun yet?
We've worked hard for the past 4 years and will probably work for the next 40. So why not take some time to enjoy yourself right now?
Celebrate your accomplishments and live in the moment. Next time you're stressing out about an exam or you hit a wall with your honors thesis, go do something fun for you.
Chillax, Pam.
Unless writing your honors thesis is fun, then keep doing that. I'm Madison Rayner for Senioritis Stories, and I'll see you next Friday on News Center Now.
Snapchat and all the filters that go with it, it's certainly one way to lift your spirits.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know how to use those, so again, just tells you how old I am.
It's all good.
Darn it!
It's all
I
good.
gotta stop bringing those things up. But you know what? Here's somebody else who's old.
And is constantly reminding you of how old you are. It's my job.
A lot more coming up, right?
That's right. First off, we're going to talk about that horrible United Bikers of Maine accident at the Troy Run a year and a half ago. The NTSB report came out, and it actually cited the Bikers of Maine for not doing enough to mitigate the safety concerns. We're going to hear from that organization today about what they're doing in response to that. Also, police are asking for your help in finding two young brothers from Presque Isle. Detectives say it appears their father took the boys without permission and headed south, but if you have seen them, police really want to know. Those stories and much more ahead at 5:30. Back to you guys.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. We'll see you on News Center Maine at 5:30. We're back with Raindrops after this. Hoping to encourage drivers to slow down around school districts, two elementary school students came up with a brilliant idea, a 3D crosswalk. Fourth grader Eric Dobson and his third grade partner Isa proposed the idea of painting a 3D optical illusion crosswalk near their elementary school in Medford, Massachusetts. The idea stemmed from similar crosswalks that were painted in other countries like China and England that helped drivers reduce their speed when they got near that illusion. That's really interesting.
That's cool. I think crosswalk is like it's a moral decision. People see you most of the time. They just decide that they don't want to wait for you. All right, we talked about the cloud cover percentage. Let's bring this up full so people at home can see it. So what you're seeing there in the red is what your average number of overcast observations is, and then look at what we're doing in 2019. Look at April. So we are way above average for the number of hours we're spending in overcast. So that shouldn't shock you. If you look on the bottom chart, you'll notice the past couple of years have been abnormally cloudy in April. There's no real rhyme or reason for that climatologically, but it does reinforce what you probably noticed, which is the last couple of Aprils have been a little trashy. So we'll see if we can do better. And you'll notice that you have less and less cloud cover through summer, which is why summer in Maine is hard to beat. 25 to 30% overcast. And you start getting those nice temperatures. So just
follow-up
think
question.
about that. Yes.
Do we need to wear the sunscreen when it's cloudy like this?
You do technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on a day like today, the sun angle's still there. Admittedly, not everyone's great about that.
I know. Well, sometimes I think, okay, it's a cloudy day, I'll give it a break.
Right.
But
you're supposed to.
Okay.
That's the best answer.
Keith says so. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.